Many people might ponder this question: what happens to a person's consciousness after their life ends? Does the end of life signify the end of everything? Does a human soul truly exist? On October 6, 2020, mathematical physicist Roger Penrose was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for his observations and research on black hole theory. However, many argue that he is the most controversial Nobel laureate. The reason lies in a taboo topic he introduced to the scientific community. He believes the soul exists, and he further claims that after life ends, the soul departs the body and returns to the universe, existing in a quantum form. Hello, welcome to House of Wisdom, where we explore the world from a different perspective. Today, we'll be sharing about the quantum form of the soul. Speaking of the soul inevitably brings up another question: what is life? What qualifies as life? In the 13.7 billion years since the universe's birth, countless entities have emerged, with life being perhaps the most complex and mysterious among them. So, what is life? From a biological perspective, life refers to an entity capable of performing biological functions such as growth, reproduction, and metabolism by exchanging matter and energy with its environment, while also adapting to external changes and responding through stimuli. This world is composed of matter, and everything, including life, is made up of various forms of matter. Many believe life is simply composed of microscopic elements like cells, genes, and DNA, but this understanding is not entirely accurate. At its core, the essence of life is consciousness. What exactly is consciousness? Like dark matter, it remains an invisible, intangible mystery. Every form of life possesses some level of consciousness, whether it's animals, plants, simple organisms like bacteria or viruses, or advanced beings like humans. They all exhibit consciousness to varying degrees. The strength of consciousness differs. Plants and bacteria have very weak consciousness, while complex animals possess stronger consciousness. For highly intelligent beings like humans, the only advanced intelligent life on Earth, consciousness is both profoundly mysterious and intricate. Humans boast the most powerful consciousness, yet it harbors secrets still unknown to us. Life can thus be seen as a composite of tangible matter and the invisible, mysterious entity of consciousness. For example, humans are wise beings made up of a visible body and an unseen, enigmatic consciousness. No life form can escape the fundamental law of birth, aging, sickness, and death. Even advanced intelligent beings like humans begin the journey toward decline from the moment of birth. As humanity entered the technological era, the exploration of life's mysteries deepened. Armed with the powerful tool of science, the scientific community has sought to unravel the enigma of life step by step. One such effort comes from Roger Penrose and his quantum soul theory. Roger Penrose, a British mathematical physicist, earned his doctorate at Cambridge University and serves as an honorary professor at Oxford University. A close friend of Stephen Hawking, Penrose introduced the concept of a singularity, a point of infinite density and infinitesimally small volume. Through calculations, he demonstrated that massive stars collapsing could form singularities, now known as black holes. Building on this, Hawking suggested that our universe might have originated from such a singularity. This became known as the Penrose theorem, earning Penrose the 2020 Nobel Prize in Physics. Yet, he went further, proposing a taboo idea in science: the human soul persists in a quantum form. In 1989, Penrose published a book titled The Emperor's New Mind. In it, he argued that no matter how advanced artificial intelligence becomes, it can never surpass an ordinary human in one key aspect: intuition, or what could be understood as the soul, or consciousness. According to Penrose, artificial intelligence relies on logical computations and can never shed its mechanistic nature. Consciousness, however, can only exist within a quantum system. How does human consciousness arise? He posits that within the human brain, there are numerous electrons in an entangled state. Each time these electrons collapse, they generate thoughts and ideas. Through continuous collapse and re-entanglement, what we call the soul or consciousness emerges. Up to this point, his theory sounds relatively scientific. However, his subsequent elaboration on the soul takes on a metaphysical tone. He suggests that when a life ends, the soul does not vanish, its quantum information remains intact. This information departs the body and returns to the universe. This explanation closely resembles mythological concepts of the soul. In simpler terms, the soul persists within the universe. If true, this introduces immense uncertainty into our understanding of the cosmos. If the soul is immortal, where does it go? Before delving into Penrose's views, let's first examine how scientists across history and modern science have attempted to explain the soul. The earliest scientific study of the soul was the soul-weighing experiment. In 1901, a surgeon named Duncan McDougall conducted such an experiment. It stemmed from a hypothesis: if the soul leaves the body after death, could its weight be detected by measuring the difference in a person's body weight before and after death? Using his position as a surgeon, McDougall recruited 6 terminally ill patients from a nursing home for the experiment. 4 had tuberculosis, 1 had diabetes, and 1 had an unspecified illness. As their lives neared their end, they were placed on a specially designed bed equipped with a precision scale underneath. The experiment began, with the first subject monitored for 3 hours and 40 minutes. During this time, the subject lost approximately 28 grams per hour due to normal evaporation of moisture through breathing and sweating. But at the moment of death, the weight suddenly dropped by 21 grams in mere seconds, a change too rapid to attribute to metabolism. Could this be the weight of the soul? McDougall proceeded with the remaining 5 experiments. Unfortunately, the results were inconsistent. Subsequent subjects showed multiple weight fluctuations even after brain death, with weights continuing to decline. The 5th subject, for instance, lost about 73 grams post-mortem, yet this value stabilized for 15 minutes after being removed from the bed. This oddity raised questions: was it an issue with the equipment? McDougall couldn't say. He later tested animals and found, to his surprise, that dogs exhibited no weight change after death. He concluded that only humans possess souls, weighing approximately 21 grams, while animals do not. In 1907, the New York Times published McDougall's findings, sparking both public uproar and criticism from scholars. The experiment had flaws, particularly in its data reliability. Some argued that at the moment of death, body temperature spikes, causing sweat to evaporate and resulting in a sudden weight differential. Dogs, lacking sweat glands, showed no change for this reason. Unconvinced by the criticism, McDougall devised another bold idea. Abandoning the weighing experiment, he aimed to photograph the soul leaving the body using special light. If the soul departs at death, could it be captured visually? He attempted to use X-rays to record this moment but achieved no success before his death. In 1939, Soviet technician Semyon Kirlian and his wife continued this pursuit. To photograph the soul, they first needed to define it. If it had color, special light could capture it. If it had temperature, infrared cameras might work. But what if it had neither? Kirlian considered energy. He developed a technique to photograph bioenergetic fields, naming it Kirlian photography. Later, Western European scientist Konstantin Korotkov refined this method. In 1997, Korotkov collaborated with a photojournalist to conduct an experiment on dying patients. Comparing images, he observed that during death, blue particles gradually left the body, which he believed represented the soul. However, this claim faced skepticism. Kirlian photography itself has flaws, and many scholars argued the blue particles were likely just moisture and heat escaping the body. To this day, nearly all experiments seeking the soul have ended in failure. Consequently, many scientists assert that the soul, or consciousness, cannot exist independently. For instance, Francis Crick, the 1962 Nobel Prize winner in physiology or medicine, studied consciousness and concluded it resides within neurons, emerging as a unique phenomenon during brain development, a view widely accepted in medical science today. Does consciousness truly vanish completely after death? Has no scientist since dared to tackle the soul's mystery? One area still under investigation is near-death experiences, NDEs, which ties into Sir Roger Penrose's ideas. Studying the soul ultimately means studying life and death. Some scientists have thus explored near-death experiences. What are NDEs? They refer to the period of unconsciousness between a person suffering a severe injury and being successfully resuscitated. Through extensive interviews with NDE survivors, scientists found that these individuals often report fantastical yet strikingly similar experiences during this time, such as feeling their consciousness leave their body, reviewing their life, or even seeing deceased loved ones. Most curiously, nearly all describe an out-of-body experience. This raises a question: why do patients from vastly different backgrounds report similar experiences? What causes these phenomena? This remains a major challenge in NDE research. How does Penrose explain it? He suggests that NDEs are akin to a program in the brain's quantum computer, persisting in the universe even after death. In his view, the soul is a quantum entity that, upon leaving the body, returns to the cosmos. This may sound perplexing, so let's start with quantum mechanics. In quantum mechanics, there's a concept called superposition, where a quantum particle can exist in multiple states simultaneously. This resembles consciousness. Could consciousness, or the soul, be a quantum state? In 1994, Harvard University published a study revealing a structure in the human brain called microtubules. These are widely distributed within neurons, functioning like wiring, and exhibit properties akin to quantum superposition. This implies consciousness isn't solely confined to the brain, it may also exist somewhere in the universe. Penrose later joined this research, collaborating with Stuart Hameroff, director of the Center for Consciousness Studies at the University of Arizona and a professor of psychology and anesthesiology. Together, they proposed the Orchestrated Objective Reduction, Orch-OR, theory. Simply put, the soul, or consciousness, resides in the brain's microtubules as a quantum form. Upon death, the microtubules lose their quantum state, but the quantum information within them isn't destroyed. This information floats away into the universe. During an NDE, when a person revives, the microtubules regain their quantum state, and the lost quantum information returns to the brain. The individual then awakens, astonished by what feels like a profound near-death journey, a process Penrose attributes to quantum consciousness traveling to the universe. Thus, Penrose argues that this explains why human consciousness doesn't vanish after death, it persists somewhere in the cosmos, much like mythological souls. He doesn't explicitly equate quantum consciousness with the soul, but notes their striking similarity. Admittedly, the idea of the soul existing in the universe aligns with metaphysical consensus, which has led to criticism from mainstream science. Some scholars point out that the cerebellum also contains numerous microtubules, yet individuals with cerebellar damage exhibit normal consciousness. Does this mean the soul resides only in the cerebrum? Consequently, the Orch-OR theory remains highly debated. Dubbed the quantum soul, it's dismissed by some as scientific nonsense, while others firmly believe in it. Does the soul truly exist? This brings us to another idea, the theory of consciousness and the multidimensional universe. Mathematical physicist Edward Witten proposed that the universe comprises 11 dimensions. Humans live in a three-dimensional space, while higher dimensional beings entering lower dimensions might only manifest as consciousness, unable to bring their physical forms. Scientists speculate that each person's soul could be a projection of a higher dimensional world into our current dimension. Why would higher dimensional souls come here? In our 3D world, every being has consciousness. If this consciousness stems from higher dimensional soul projections, why descend from higher to lower dimensions? Some hypothesize that higher dimensional consciousness isn't tied to a specific organism but is a cosmic law, a fundamental principle sustaining the universe's operation. If true, this explains why higher dimensional consciousness ventures into our 3D space. It's their duty, an instinct inherent to cosmic law. This evokes the ancient concept of reincarnation, a natural cycle where, after death, the soul departs, enters the reincarnation process, and begins anew. If so, life's end isn't a finale. For consciousness, each ending marks a new beginning. Should this seemingly far-fetched conjecture prove true in the future, death might lose its terror. The mystery of consciousness will eventually be unraveled by science, and only then will humanity truly decipher life's enigma, perhaps even mastering immortality. Though life's end may not signify finality, everything from one's previous existence is irrevocably shed. Thus, we must cherish life and live beautifully in the present. If you found this video intriguing, Please give us a like and subscribe to join us in living more wisely.